A 7-year-old girl stumbled into Jimmy's boxing gym at 11 p.m., her feet bleeding from running barefoot through the streets. "Please help," she gasped. "They're beating my mama." The sound of speed bags stopped. 20 fighters, mid-training, turned to look. Coach Marcus Chen dropped his timer and crouched down. "Who's hurting your mama, sweetheart?" "Mama's husband and his brother," the girl sobbed. "They came home drunk. They're so angry. There's so much yelling." Every fighter in that gym went still. Marcus looked around at his team, former street fighters, MMA champions, boxers who'd clawed their way out of violence, all of them ready to stop it when it mattered. "Where?" Marcus asked quietly. The little girl pointed through the window. "The yellow house across the parking lot. The one with the red door. Please hurry. They're hurting her bad." "What's your name?" Marcus asked as he signaled his fighters to move. "Lily," she whispered. "I'm 7.5. "You're very brave, Lily. You did exactly the right thing." Marcus turned to his heavyweight champion, a man named Andre. "Call 911. Tell them domestic violence in progress, but we're not waiting for them to show up." They crossed the parking lot in 20 seconds. The house was lit up, shadows moving violently behind the curtains. They could hear it now, a woman screaming, furniture breaking, a man's voice shouting obscenities. Andre didn't knock. He put his shoulder into the door, and it burst open. Inside was a scene from a nightmare. 2 large men standing over a woman who was trying to crawl away. Blood on her face, her arm bent at a wrong angle, broken dishes everywhere, an overturned chair, the smell of whiskey thick in the air. "Lily, stay outside," Marcus commanded, but the little girl had already seen. She saw her mother's battered face and let out a sound no child should ever make. The husband, a thick-necked man named Craig, turned toward them. "Get out of my house." "Your house?" Andre said coldly. "Your wife's name is on the deed. We checked the county records while walking over here." Craig's brother Jason tried to rush toward the back door. He ran straight into Miguel, a welterweight champion who'd circled around. Miguel caught him with a body shot that dropped Jason to his knees, gasping. "You're making a mistake," Craig snarled, but his eyes showed fear now. He was used to his wife being afraid, not the other way around. "The only mistake," Marcus said, "was you thinking no one would stop you." Craig made the worst decision of his life. He grabbed a kitchen knife from the counter and moved toward Lily. "That little bitch called you. She ruined everything." Marcus moved like water. He was 52 years old, but he'd been street fighting since he was 15. He caught Craig's wrist, twisted it in a joint lock that made Craig scream, and the knife clattered to the floor. "You threaten that child again," Marcus said quietly, "and I'll forget I'm trying to be a better man." That's when they heard sirens. Multiple police cars, an ambulance. The 911 dispatcher had sent everyone. If you believe fighters protect the innocent, hit the like and subscribe button to show your support. Detective James Rodriguez came through the door with his weapon drawn, but he lowered it immediately when he saw the scene. "Marcus, what happened here?" "We heard screaming from the gym," Marcus said. "Found them beating Beth. We intervened." Craig started yelling despite his broken wrist. "They broke into my house. I want them all arrested for assault and trespassing." Detective Rodriguez looked at Craig with pure disgust. "Sir, you have blood on your knuckles and your wife is unconscious on the floor. Save it for your lawyer." The paramedics rushed past everyone and went to Beth. She was barely breathing. Fractured skull, broken arm, internal injuries. "We need to transport immediately," the lead paramedic announced. "This is life-threatening. She needs emergency surgery." Lily tried to climb into the ambulance with her mother. "Family only, sweetie," the paramedic said gently but firmly. "She's 7 years old," Andre protested. "She has nowhere else to go." "I don't make the rules," the paramedic said apologetically. That's when everyone heard a voice from outside. "I'm making an exception." Judge Helen Carter walked into the house, still wearing her yoga clothes under a jacket. She'd been at the gym too, using the treadmill in the cardio room. "I'm authorizing emergency protective custody," Judge Carter announced. "Lily can choose who she stays with until her mother recovers or other family is located." Craig laughed bitterly. "You're going to let my daughter stay with street fighters? That's insane." "Actually," Judge Carter said calmly, "Mr. Chen here is a licensed foster parent, runs a non-profit for at-risk youth, and has never had so much as a parking ticket. Can you say the same?" Lily looked at all the intimidating fighters, these men with scarred knuckles and cauliflower ears. Then she walked straight to Marcus and grabbed his hand. "You saved my mama." Marcus knelt down so he was eye level with her. "Can you take care of me until Mama wakes up?" Lily asked. "Yes, sweetheart. We've got you." Jason, still on the floor, started talking to save himself. "This was all Craig's idea. He's been beating Beth for months. I tried to stop him tonight. That's why we fought." "Shut your mouth," Craig screamed. Detective Rodriguez smiled. "Please, continue. I'm recording everything." Jason told them everything. Craig had been abusing Beth for 2 years. Tonight, she'd said she was leaving and taking Lily. Craig had snapped. He'd called his brother for backup. They'd been drinking since 6 p.m. When Beth tried to pack a bag, Craig had started hitting her. "Lily must have snuck out," Jason said. "Smart kid. She probably saved her mom's life." Craig was arrested for attempted murder, domestic violence, assault, and child endangerment. Jason got charged with assault as an accomplice. At the hospital, surgeons worked on Beth for 8 hours. The fighters set up camp in the waiting room. They brought sleeping bags, coffee, and took turns staying awake. Lily refused to sleep. She drew pictures for each fighter with crayons the nurses brought. A dragon for Andre, a lightning bolt for Miguel, a lion for Marcus. "My mama always said fighters were dangerous," Lily said while coloring, "but you saved us." "Some dangerous men protect innocent people," Marcus explained. "That's what separates us from men like Craig." Beth survived the surgery but fell into a coma. The doctors said it could be days or weeks. Lily never left the hospital, and neither did the fighters. They rotated shifts. Someone was always there. Marcus brought clothes from his daughter's old room. Andre brought books. Miguel taught Lily basic Spanish. Other fighters brought toys, games, anything to help a little girl cope with trauma. Craig posted bail after 5 days. His wealthy parents put up their house as collateral. He immediately violated the restraining order by coming to the hospital. The security guard called Marcus before calling the police. Craig found himself face to face with 15 fighters in the parking garage. "I just want to see my wife," Craig said. "Apologize." "She doesn't want to see you," Marcus said, "and you're violating a court order." "You can't stop me forever," Craig threatened. Andre stepped forward. "Want to test that theory?" Craig made another catastrophic mistake. He pulled a gun from his jacket. 15 fighters dove for cover. Craig fired wildly, 3 shots that hit concrete pillars and car windows. Then Lily appeared at the garage entrance. She'd followed the fighters down from the waiting room. Craig pointed the gun at her. "This is your fault. You destroyed our family." Marcus didn't hesitate. He moved between Craig and Lily, his body a shield. Craig fired. The bullet hit Marcus in the ribcage just below his left lung. The impact knocked him sideways, but he stayed on his feet, his arms wrapped around Lily, protecting her with his body. We always protect innocent children. If you believe fighters are heroes, click like and subscribe to show your support. Andre and Miguel rushed Craig before he could fire again. Andre hit him with a right hook that could have killed him. Miguel swept his legs. The gun skittered across the concrete. Police arrived to find Craig unconscious and Marcus standing despite the gunshot wound, still shielding Lily with his body. "You got shot for me," Lily said, her voice full of awe and terror. "Just a scratch, kiddo," Marcus lied, though blood was soaking through his shirt. Craig was charged with attempted murder of a child, assault with a deadly weapon, and violation of a restraining order. No bail this time. His parents tried to make it go away. They offered Beth $3 million to drop the charges and disappear. Beth, awake now after 6 days in a coma, refused. "No amount of money is worth teaching my daughter that violence has a price tag," she said. The trial was swift and brutal for Craig. The prosecution presented hospital records, photos, witness testimony from neighbors who'd heard years of abuse. Craig got 30 years. When they read the verdict, he broke down crying. "I loved her," he claimed. "I was just stressed. I didn't mean it." Lily stood up in the courtroom gallery. 7 years old, but fierce as any fighter. "If you loved her, you wouldn't have hurt her." The entire courtroom erupted in applause. Even the bailiff was clapping. Judge Carter allowed it for a full minute before calling for order. Beth's recovery was long and painful. Physical therapy 3 times a week, counseling twice a week, rebuilding everything. The fighters helped with everything. Marcus paid her rent for 6 months. Andre fixed her car. Miguel taught Lily self-defense. Other fighters rotated helping with groceries, rides to appointments, anything needed. Lily started calling Marcus Coach. He taught her to wrap her hands, to throw a proper jab, to protect herself. "Fighting isn't the answer," he'd say. "Unless someone's trying to hurt you or your mama, then it's the only answer. But you run first, always run, and get help like you did." Beth got a job at the gym, managing the front desk and handling memberships. She was organized, good with people, and the fighters made her feel safe. Lily grew up in the gym, surrounded by fighters who treated her like a little sister, the safest child in the neighborhood. Craig got attacked in prison after other inmates learned he'd shot at a 7-year-old girl. He survived but lost sight in one eye and spent 18 months in the prison hospital. Beth met someone new 2 years later, a physical therapist named David who worked with Marcus on his recovery from the gunshot. Former Army medic, gentle with Lily, patient with Beth's trauma. Marcus walked Beth down the aisle at her wedding. 15 fighters stood as groomsmen. Lily was the flower girl, walking down the aisle with fierce confidence. "You saved us," Beth told Marcus at the reception, tears in her eyes. "No," Marcus replied, watching Lily dance with her new stepfather. "That brave little girl saved you. She knew who to run to for help." Jimmy's boxing gym has a new policy now. Any child who runs in asking for help gets it immediately. No questions asked, no hesitation. They've saved 23 women and children since Lily. The gym added a safe room with locks from the inside, stocked with water, snacks, and first aid. Because sometimes heroes wear hand wraps and mouth guards. Sometimes they're the only ones who respond when children scream for help. And sometimes a 7-year-old girl's courage to run barefoot through broken glass to a boxing gym saves not just her mother, but shows an entire community what real strength looks like. Lily's 15 now. She fights in the junior division, undefeated in 12 matches. One row. The back of her gym jacket, it says, "Protected by fighters." And she is. But more than that, she's become one of them. A fighter who protects others. Marcus retired from coaching last year, but he still comes to every one of Lily's matches. He sits in the front row, watching the little girl he took a bullet for destroy opponents with technique and heart. After Lily wins her matches, she always points to Marcus and taps her chest twice. Their signal, it means, "You gave me your heart. I'll never let you down." Beth remarried David and they have 2 more children now. Lily's little brothers who she teaches to throw punches at the heavy bag. The whole family comes to the gym. It's their second home. Craig got released after serving 20 years on good behavior. He tried to contact Lily through social media. She blocked him immediately and reported it to her parole officer. He violated parole terms and went back to prison for 5 more years. He writes letters that Lily never opens. Marcus keeps them in a file, just in case they're ever needed as evidence. The gym expanded and now has 3 locations. They offer free classes to domestic violence survivors and their children. Beth runs the program. Over 300 families have come through. Some of the women who train there have become instructors themselves, teaching other survivors how to fight back. Detective Rodriguez retired and now volunteers at the gym, teaching personal safety courses. Judge Carter still practices there every Tuesday and Thursday, using the same treadmill where she heard Lily's desperate cry for help. And on the wall of the original gym, there's a photo. A 7-year-old girl with bloody feet surrounded by 15 fighters. Beneath it, a plaque reads, "Courage comes in all sizes. Lily Johnson, age 7, who knew that real fighters protect the innocent." Lily looks at that photo sometimes, remembering that night. The terror, the desperation, the moment she decided to run toward the sounds of fighting in the gym instead of away. "Do you regret coming to the gym that night?" a journalist once asked her during an interview about teen athletes. Lily laughed. "Regret it? Running into that gym was the smartest thing I've ever done. I found my family." And she had. Not the family she was born into, but the family she chose. The family that chose her back. Fighters who taught her that strength isn't about hurting people. It's about protecting them. It's about standing between evil and the innocent. It's about taking bullets for 7-year-old girls who deserve better. Marcus is 60 years old now, his knuckles gnarled with arthritis, his body marked by decades of fighting. But when Lily's at the gym, he stands a little straighter, moves a little quicker, because he knows what it's all been for. Every fight, every punch, every drop of blood in the ring. It was all training for the moment when it really mattered. The moment a little girl with bleeding feet ran into his gym and gave him a chance to be a hero. "Coach," Lily says after training one evening. "Yeah, kiddo? Thank you for saving my mama, for saving me." Marcus smiles, his scarred face crinkling. "Thank you for reminding me what we're really fighting for." And in Jimmy's boxing gym, where fighters train every day, they all remember. They're not just training to win matches, they're training to protect, to respond when someone needs help, to be the people that scared children run toward, not away from. Because sometimes the most important fight happens outside the ring. Sometimes it happens when a little girl has the courage to ask for help. And sometimes, if you're very lucky, you get to be the person she runs to. If you love fighter stories, check out the link in the first comment.